Good evening to you all, and welcome to the annual Student Affairs Student Leadership Awards 2020. My name is Yonaka Teledi, and I will be your host for this evening's proceedings. 2020 has indeed been a challenging year for most of us, and although we are gathering virtually, we hope that you will enjoy this evening as we honor our student leaders who have truly made a mark in their respective fields at Wits University. Distinguished guests, students, parents, and everyone who is joining us tonight, we welcome you to this auspicious occasion. The Leadership Awards are aimed at acknowledging student leaders for their role within the university. These awards seek to encourage students to continue participating in student governance, clubs, societies, and all student activities on campus. Tonight is all about acknowledging the talent and hard work of students that have contributed to the WITS community. To kickstart this evening's proceedings, please welcome the Dean of Student Affairs, Mr. Jerome September, for the keynote address.
Good evening, student leaders, and good evening to everyone else watching this special broadcast. We are, of course, here tonight to celebrate the contributions of our student leaders over what was really a difficult year. COVID-19 really played us. Who would have thought this time last year that we would be on lockdown, that we would have to offer the academic program online, and that we would have to do a host of different things to connect with you and to serve our constituencies. It was really a year in which leadership was tested, in which your leadership was tested, in which your commitment to your constituencies were tested. And it is at a time like this that perhaps we should just briefly touch on what it in fact means to be an authentic leader, a leader connected to their constituency, a leader committed to serving their constituency. And so let me quickly go through just 5 characteristics of an authentic leader. Some of you will know that from our office, this is the program we ran this year, a series of leadership conversations with a series of people from across the divide, coming to talk to you particularly about authentic leader. The first characteristic is, of course, understanding your purpose. What is your purpose? Why are you at WITS? Why are you at WITS doing the things that you are doing? And as a leader, what is that purpose that you are serving? So let's say you're the chairperson of the Sunflower Society. What are you doing to cultivate an appreciation for sunflowers? It doesn't mean that you do not accept roses, that you do not think roses to be important. But what is your purpose in building the Sunflower Society? And so as you think about your own role, what is your purpose, both in your society, but what is also your bigger purpose in life, your bigger purpose in terms of the legacy that you want to leave? How would you have left your society better? How would you have left WITS better? And so how did you connect to that, particularly in this difficult year? The second quality is, of course, practicing solid values. The authentic leader is a leader that has a solid values base. So what you say and what you do needs to be connected. So the values that you hold dear, if honesty is an important value to you, then how have you practiced honesty over the last year? How have you connected, or how have you made your society perhaps a more honest society? If the values of social justice are important to you, how did that manifest in what you did in your society? But also as a leader, how does it find expression within how you live your life? And is there a connect between who you say you are publicly and who you are privately. One of my former bosses many moons ago used to say, leaders get into trouble because who they say they are and who they actually are different people. So in your private space, you're actually a misogynist. You're actually the biggest sexist that there could ever be. And one day that finds expression in the public space. And people say, oh, now people are shocked. This is not the person we thought Jerome to be. Actually, that's who Jerome was all the time. Jerome was just good at acting. So being authentic is about connecting with your purpose, but it's also about living the values, living your principles. Leading with heart. Are you just the cold person? Or is there a lot of heart in what you do? Can you forgive? Can you connect to people? Can you appreciate that we make mistakes? Can you link with your compassion? And at the time of COVID especially, compassion having been so important. So to what extent have you linked with your members? Do you understand what they've been through? And have you tried to meet them where they were at? Establishing connected relationships. As a leader, what relationships did you build this year? To what end? Were those relationships only for yourself, for your own enrichment, for your own opportunities beyond today? Or were those relationships about taking the sunflower society which you lead further? What were those relationships? How connected were you in those relationships? Could your people, your constituency, do they understand you? So understanding your purpose, practicing your values, leading with heart, but connecting to people, and the power of connecting to people. And the last one is demonstrating self-discipline. As a leader, how disciplined are you? How connected are you to maybe your weaknesses? How connected are you to the things that maybe you do not do so well on? But do you practice the discipline? And often it is about the hard work, the showing up in the morning, the showing up in the evening, the being there and being disciplined in how you lead in your society. So beyond your society, I think it's important, or your SRC commitment or your residence commitment, it's the 5 things that I'm sharing with you around authentic leadership. Understanding your purpose. What is your purpose? We're here to celebrate you. We're here to acknowledge you. We're here to sing your praises. We're here to say, well done. But in this moment, do you understand your purpose? Do you practice solid values? What are those values? And how does those values find expression? Do you lead with a heart? Compassion, connecting to people. So the establishment of connected relationships. Many of you will discover 10 years from now, and I find it to this day, it is the people I was in student leadership with that to this day I am able to connect with. You walk into a boardroom, and suddenly you see these other Witsis that we're celebrating with you tonight. It is them that are the decision makers. But do you understand your purpose? So when you talk to them, it's a connection of purpose. Do you have values? And so is there values connect? It's not enough that you were only at Wits together. Perhaps the person will say, this is the kind of person I should never connect with because of your values. The compassion. Are you the cold one, or do you lead with heart? The heart and head connect. The connection in those relationships. Is there connectedness? And the demonstration of self-discipline. Now, as we appreciate COVID, and as you think this through, this is a time where, unlike any other time in our lives, my actions directly impacts on your life. And that's the beauty of COVID. It has highlighted our interconnectedness. It has highlighted the need for me to understand that what I do in my private space could be deadly for another person as they interact with me, perhaps in a public space. What does that mean for how you lead from here forward? What does that mean for how you take WITS forward? What does that mean for how you position as the SRC student governance and student leadership at this university? What does this mean for our public space and our public role? What does this mean for the things that you're going to hold dear and that you're going to put your money to? If anything, COVID has taught us that perhaps we need to put some of those things that we hold so dear, that divides us, perhaps those are some of the things that we need to put aside. Perhaps those are some of the things that we need to reevaluate, because at the end of the day, you could be the best scientist, you could be the best at whatever you do, but if it doesn't serve the interest of humanity, then was it really worth it? And so as you think about your own leadership, as you think about in celebration tonight, also connect with who you are. How are you serving humanity? How did you use your leadership role this past year to serve humanity? How will you serve humanity going forward? Congratulations, well done, thank you for your service, thank you for putting your hand up, thank you for making a difference, and thank you for being a generation that said, even in the midst of a humanitarian crisis, I will do my best. I will stand. I will serve. Well done to all of you, and enjoy the rest of the night.
Thank you, Mr. September, for the address, and thank you for your continuous involvement and support towards WITSES. And now, for the presentation of the awards, a nominee must have followed all university procedures within the time period provided without any incident. Nominees must have fulfilled the following criteria: promoted the vision, mission, and values of the WITS University, promoted a culture of learning both internally and externally, demonstrated social responsibility, demonstrated exemplary leadership qualities, promoted diversity, inclusivity, and transformation, team-oriented, must be of good academic standing, display a high level of volunteerism. Most outstanding contribution made by an SRC member. In the first category tonight, we would like to acknowledge members of the SRC who have made an outstanding contribution to the WITS community at large. Please welcome the Manager of Student Governance, Mrs. Jabu Mashinini.
This award is for the most outstanding contribution made by an SRC member. Ms. Lucy Coffey engaged with the university management and other stakeholders with regards to the financial and accommodation crisis faced by students at WITS Plus, a constituency that is really represented. During the lockdown, the Transformation Office started an initiative named Adopted, where plus minus 350 students were adopted and mentored by the postgraduates. The mentees were empowered with coping mechanisms, including weekly follow-ups. At the beginning of the lockdown, postgraduate students provided data to some students to enable access to online learning through the office of Ms. Coffey. She worked with GO in numerous cases, including rape and sexual harassment cases, as well as reviewing of policies, particularly those pertaining to the LGBTQI plus community. The office collaborated with GO, CCDU, Transformation Office, and Activate, a student formation, to host numerous online activities and webinars for the student body. The office further collaborated with the Transformation Office in cyberbullying cases, and she represented the students accordingly. The Transformation Office was inundated with requests for food parcels by international students during the lockdown, including students who remained in the residences for various reasons. In collaboration with the Celebration Church, the office assisted approximately 300 students with food parcels. She raised awareness on mental health as well as gender-based harm through informative webinars with experts in various fields. Lucy Coffey submitted a proposal for University Corner building to be renamed in honor of Professor Eskiam Patlela, and this was successfully approved by the Norming Committee and will be part of the Wit Centenary celebrations. Ladies and gentlemen, let us congratulate the 2019 SRC Transformation Officer, Ms. Lucy Coffey. This is the second award for the most outstanding contribution made by an SRC member. Ms. Samantha Mongwe was the club's, societies, and organizations, as well as student governance officer. Ms. Mongwe served in the SRC in 2019 and 20 and was part of several university governing committees where she represented students' interests. These committees include the Board of Exams, Research Committee, FYE Committee, Honorary Degree Committee, and All-Week Committee. She was instrumental in the call to the student formations to submit proposals and solutions to save the 2020 academic year during the lockdown. She was passionate about creating a vibrant student life. Hence, she was consistent in her efforts to revive student activism on campus through dialogues, consultations, and meaningful inclusions of student leaders. She demonstrated a strong character and sound leadership skills amongst her peers and treated everyone with respect. She contributed meaningfully in all discussions and negotiations with university officials, always available in the SRC offices to consult and assist students with different challenges. The CSO officer, in collaboration with different stakeholders, showed agility when she executed various programs and student activities during the pandemic. She successfully hosted an online Heritage Day celebration competition where different cultural societies recorded videos demonstrating their heritage and culture. Samantha was instrumental in raising awareness on the SRC elections and encouraged her constituency and peers to record videos on the elections and post them on social media. She exerted herself beyond the call of duty as she supported the initiatives and goals of the SRC Executive Committee and of other colleagues, a dependable stalwart of the 2019-20 SRC. Ladies and gentlemen, let us congratulate the 2019 SRC Clubs and Societies Officer, Ms. Samantha Mongwe. The last award is for the most outstanding contribution made by an SRC member, the 2019-20 SRC President, Mr. Tuto Gabapete, who assumed office on the 1st of November 2019 with a statutory mandate to advance the interest of his constituency. Tuto graciously and competently executed his constitutional obligations and exceeded expectations when the unexpected occurred. Subsequent to delivering a successful orientation week program, he was forced to steer the team through turbulent and uncharted waters as the university responded to the effects of the global pandemic. Tuto rose to the occasion and worked in concert with university stakeholders to ensure that no student is left behind by the abrupt transitioning to remote online learning. The President and the rest of the SRC worked collectively, tirelessly to make this unusual adaptation seamless, ensured students have the necessary resources and aid to successfully conclude the academic year. Tuto pioneered and successfully launched the SRC Food Voucher Program in response to food insecurity and assisting students from indigent backgrounds with basic necessities. The next couple of months were dedicated to assist the portfolio holders in preparing for and attending committee meetings such as forum, senate, council, and the like. of which the team has been commended on numerous occasions for the decorum and strategies of lobbying and engaging. Something as insignificant as the president insisting that the SRC members wear full uniform to meetings has assisted in not only uplifting the reputation of the SRC, but that preparation and being presentable has translated into impressive work ethic. He displayed exceptional leadership qualities by merging all the different student groupings and led from the front. It was a demanding task, trying to be the adhesive that holds the collective together. But with a lot of support from his executive team, he ended his term on a grand note. Ladies and gentlemen, help me congratulate the 2019-20 SRC President, Mr. Tudo Gabapete.
Congratulations to Lucy, Samantha, and Tudo. Meaningful contribution made by a postgraduate association member.
This award goes to the most meaningful contribution made by the postgraduate association member. Ms. Babalwa Bekepu was the 2018-2020 Postgraduate Association Chairperson and served for 2 terms. She was responsive to the needs of her constituency and of her executive committee. Ms. Bekepu and her team worked tirelessly to promote the visibility of the PGA in the vets community. She had the ability to pull her team together when 50% of her team completed their studies and left the university at the beginning of 2020. She was involved in facilitating a seamless transition into office of the newly elected PGA. Ms. Bekepu represented her constituency in the highest decision-making bodies like Council and Senate with competency and tenacity. She was dependable and professional in all her dealings and obligations. She ignited the interest of the postgraduate students to participate in the PGI. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me as we congratulate the past Postgraduate Association Chairperson, Ms. Babalwa Bekepo.
Congratulations to the outgoing PGA Chairperson, Babalwa. Most involved student leader in the university residence community. In the next category, the award recognizes a student leader who has stood out in their public show of involvement in all residence events. Such a student would have inspired other students to become leaders that are more effective. Please welcome Director of Campus Housing and Residence Life, Mr. Basil Mugwena.
I present to you this evening the most involved student leader in the university residence community. The candidate has shown exemplary leadership qualities through her proactive involvement in all residence activities. Through her work as chairperson of the All Residence Sub-Council, she has inspired other students and fulfilled her role with the hard work and demonstrated characteristics of a vetsie. She led conversations at Sunnyside Hall about being young, African, and spiritual. At the event, her excellent soft skills, in particular her interpersonal abilities, were highlighted as she was able to engage with students and how to navigate these relevant issues. She also participated in leadership conversations hosted by the Dean of Students on how to be better leaders in student spaces and encourage others to reach their highest potential. She was at the forefront of this event, steering conversation alongside Ms. Nono Sekoto, co-founder of Growth Shoot, which focuses on empowerment of youth in agriculture. While the COVID-19 pandemic threw a curveball at most student organizations and subsequently leaders, her ability to adapt highlighted through continuing with residence activities like Jerusalem Challenge, which brought the residence life student community together amid one of the most challenging times affecting everyone worldwide. This student leader has shown passion for her role through her taking initiatives and robust engagement in solving problems that face all residents sub-council. Please join me in congratulating Ms. Mhloto Buhle Keleba.
Congratulations once again to Mhlonto. Most Outstanding House Committee. House committees represent the interests of their constituencies and are required to be engaged with their community, be committed to their development and well-being, and work closely with management to ensure the conditions and atmosphere in the residence support the academic project and promote the welfare and holistic development of the students.
I present to you this evening the most outstanding House committee at Wits Residences. 2020 was a difficult year for all students. Gitten resident students were blessed to have a House committee that demonstrated the highest level of care. At the early stages of COVID-19, the Gitten House Committee went all out of its way to ensure that all students who had tested positive before quarantine areas were put in place were cared for. House Committee members will take turns, visit each and every room, drop the food stuff at the entry points or doors, and ensure that they alert the students that were in their rooms to collect their meals. They even went out of their way to ensure that they virtually support all students that had tested positive in their respective residences. They cared so much for students to the extent that during the hot water crisis, what became known as hot water crisis at Gitten, House committee members went out of their way, engaged with all university entities to ensure that all issues are resolved. Despite lockdown, the Gitten House Committee went out of its way once again to ensure that they successfully launch and implement residence academic advisory services for the support of first-year students. All in all, House committee members were found to be very engaged on student welfare and service issues, and for that, they could be contenders for Community Service Award. For them, it was a case of charity begins at home. Please join me in congratulating the chairperson of Gitten House Committee, Tapiwa Malenga, Vice Chairperson External Mposi Lepe, Secretary Lebo Masheho, Academic Officer Andy Swantombela, Media and Public Relations Officer Varima Nyukwi, Entertainment Officer Lebogang Malele, Maintenance and Catering Officer Kekeletso Motane, Student Development Officer Charlotte Motang, Health Safety Security and Transport Officer Serin Philip, Treasurer Promise Nkongolo, Sports Officer Bohlale Machele.
Congratulations to Girton Hall House Committee. Champion of Service. The Champion of Service Award honors a student who has participated in community service with vigor, devotion, and a positive attitude. Please welcome Manager of Wits Citizenship and Community Outreach, Karuna Singh.
The Champion of Service Award honors a student who has participated in community service with vigor, devotion, and a really positive attitude. Despite her own anxiety and fear, academic pressure and frustration during the COVID-19 pandemic and the lockdown, she served with an inspirational and infectious optimism from day to day, assisting her peers with food parcels. The recipient is Priti Chole, who was central to disseminating hundreds of food parcels to her peers during COVID-19 lockdown. She is indeed a COVID-19 hero.
Congratulations to Priti. COVID-19 Hero. The COVID-19 Hero Award goes to the students that took it upon themselves to package and distribute food parcels to those hard hit by the lockdown. We commend the following individuals.
COVID-19 has wreaked havoc throughout the world. Many heroes came forward to support others in need of assistance. Our COVID-19 Heroes Award is presented to two groups of students. First, the Wits Food Bank volunteers, who work tirelessly to package hundreds of food parcels. Despite all protocols being maintained, these volunteers risk their health on a monthly basis after June this year, for days at a time, putting together food parcels for distribution to our self-catering residences as well as private student residences in the Braamfontein and city area. We honor our food bank volunteers for steadfastly giving of themselves to ensure that their peers are well and healthy.
Congratulations to the recipients of this noble award. We also commend the South African Union of Jewish Students.
The second award is presented to the South African Union of Jewish Students Society, whose members have contributed time, support, and money at the local university level to better the lives of other students. This club society provided substantial donations of non-perishable food for students, particularly to our residents community during the COVID-19 lockdown. We honor Soldiers Wits' desire to go beyond in helping their fellow peers and building solidarity in the Wits community.
The following are the members' representatives involved in the collection and distribution of food during COVID-19 lockdown. Sportswoman of the Year. The nominee for the Sportswoman of the Year award must have displayed the criteria of all award categories with exemplary leadership on and off the sports field. We would like to call on Wits Sports Senior Manager Operations, Kabungo Mobanga, to present this award.
We would like to honor Sportswoman of the Year, Michaela Robinson from the Wits Yacht Club.
Robinson has been awarded Youth Protea Colours on 3 occasions. She broke the record for the youngest skipper in the history of the Cape to Rio yacht race. She is a winner Cape to Rio 2020 on handicap and line honours in class. She was awarded South African Sailing Colours as well as South African Student Colours at the 2019 USA tournament. She is a double mirror class world champion. She competed in the 2020 Cape to Rio yacht race, the longest yacht race in the Southern Hemisphere, a 5,800 kilometer intercontinental race from Cape Town to Rio. Her all-student team, JM Busher 54-piece sailing team, was third to cross the finish line, first in their class, and won the Most Promising Youth Award. The team completed the race in 23 days, 16 hours, 14 minutes and 52 seconds. Sportsman of the Year. Next, we acknowledge the Sportsman of the Year. The nominee for the Sportsman of the Year award must have displayed the criteria of all award categories with exemplary leadership on and off the sports field.
For the Sportsman of the Year award, we would like to award Harry Sainer from the Wits Fencing Club.
Sainer was presented with senior national colours and participated in the Senior World Championships. He participated in the KwaZulu-Natal Open in December 2019 and placed second in the senior category and second in the junior category. He also participated in numerous international competitions, the Cup of the Republic of Belarus and the Udine World Cup in December 2019, Heidenheim World Cup in January 2020, and the Doha Grand Prix. He also competed in the African Junior competitions in Ghana in February 2020 and placed 7th place for the foil and epee. Sports Student of the Year.
For the Sports Student Award, we would like to honor the following individual. This individual has worked tirelessly through a very challenging year without being able to take part on on-field activity, but has been able to motivate most of the sports clubs to take part in virtual activity. With that being said, we would like to honor Michael Horan.
Special acknowledgements. In the next segment of the awards, we would like to acknowledge recipients of the Special Acknowledgements category. In this category, the recipient of this award can be either an individual or team that is committed to an ethos of excellence. Wits University has some of the best student leaders who thrive on working to uphold standards of distinction in all that they commit to.
The first acknowledgement goes to one of the strongest chapters of the Golden Key International Honours Society. This chapter has hosted a number of events throughout the year for their members and all Wits students. These projects, which offer opportunities for professional and personal development, support the Golden Key pillars of academic excellence, leadership, and service. Some of these projects include the annual Thinkers Symposium, work readiness event, exam preparation, and mental health awareness event. In upholding the pillar of service, they have remained committed throughout the year to community service initiatives, including a clothing and book drive. The chapter was yet again awarded the Gold Chapter Standard for their 2018-2019 work. It is evident that the University of Witwatersrand Golden Key chapter has continued in their legacy of excellence this year. Please join me in giving a special acknowledgement to the Golden Key WITS chapter in exhibiting excellence within the spheres of academic excellence, leadership, and service. The next recipients of the special acknowledgements category are the students who have successfully completed the 2020 Development and Leadership Unit Emerging Leaders Program. This is the Development and Leadership Unit's flagship program, which aims to nurture leaders and unearth their potential to become change agents by equipping them with the insights and tools to master adaptive leadership and make a positive impact on organizations and society. Please join me in congratulating the ELP delegates.
The third recipients of the Special Acknowledgements category are the InterVarsity competition finalists. The Entrepreneurship Development in Higher Education InterVarsity competition identifies top student entrepreneurs at South African public universities, recognize and showcase their businesses, and invite investment opportunities into this cohort of student businesses. The competition also provides opportunity for aspiring entrepreneurs in the ideation phase to pitch their innovative business ideas. In the process, universities have the opportunity to showcase their entrepreneurial talent and demonstrate ways in which they support and grow the next generation of business leaders. This year, after an internal round of selection where 169 student business ideas and existing businesses were registered for the competition, 8 students went on to represent the university in the Gauteng regional rounds of the InterVarsity competition. From these 8 students, 3 of them progressed to the final round of the competition and went head-to-head with other finalists from 26 universities across the country. Today, we recognize and congratulate these phenomenal student entrepreneurs who flew the WITS flag high and on the national stage. Please join me in congratulating under business ideas, Petum Kunu, under existing businesses, social impact, Karabo Pecha, and the existing businesses general, Kotos Kosana.
A big round of applause for the Golden Key WITS chapter, the Emerging Leaders Program participants, and the InterVarsity Challenge finalists. In continuing with the special acknowledgements, we would like to call on DLU Student Development Practitioner and First Year Experience Coordinator, Ms. Mpho Tahele.
The final recipients in the special acknowledgement category are First Year Experience Lead Mentors. The First Year Experience program is aimed at successfully integrating students from high school into university through academic and social support programs. FYE mentors work during registration, welcome day, as well as orientation week, where they assisted with the facilitation of programs assigned. Lead mentors played a major role in supporting and leading the program, as well as leading first-year students. Lead mentors were responsible for the following duties: managing large venues with students, like the Great Hall, as well as with Science Stadium, taking groups of first-year students on detailed tours around the university campuses in order to get them acquainted with the university. Lead mentors helped train first-year students in digital skills and in enhancing their digital literacy. Please join me in congratulating the FYE lead mentors.
A big round of applause to the lead mentors of the First Year Experience program. To close the evening's proceedings, we would like to call on Dean of Students, Mr. Jerome September.
It is now my pleasure to close up this function by doing a vote of thanks. This was a special year. And as I said in my opening comments, a year in which we really had to connect to our humanity and we really had to think about our own place and contribution in the world. And I spoke about authentic leadership. Let me now, at the end of this evening, just say a couple of thank yous. And the first thank you has to be to all of you, the student leaders, whether you received an award tonight or not. But it's to say thank you for your service. Thank you for, during this really tough year, rising to the occasion and thinking about ways in which you could still serve your constituency and in which you could still serve this university. Many of you advocated for students in your organizations. Many of you ran food initiatives. Many of you tried to get vouchers to people. Many of you helped students get to safe spaces. Many of you alerted us to the difficult situations that students found themselves in. Many of you became tutors, became advisors and mentors. And so thank you to all of you for having served us and for having served this university and humanity over this past year. You are a group of young people that we are incredibly proud of. We are proud to call you Witsis, and we are proud tonight to say that you are our student leaders. So thank you, thank you, thank you for your service this year. A special thank you to all the staff who have both served you and served other students. Staff in residences, staff in campus health and wellness, staff in CCDU. My goodness, even the staff in sport who took the whole sports program online. Staff in the DLU who took mentoring online and was there for students. Staff in student governance who was really there to support the SRC, to support governance structures virtually. WCCO, thank you for your service in making sure that food still get out, that accommodation is still available. Staff in faculties who rose to the occasion, both academic staff and support staff, staff in ICT, the security team, the frontline workers, people who came to the party to serve. So thank you to all the staff for your service over this last year. Thank you to those who made tonight possible, our cameramen and sound people who are standing in the room doing the recordings. Thank you for your service, for making this happen. The staff in the DLU who had to think about the categories and how to pull this together. The sports for making this venue available, and every other person. And I hope that if I didn't mention you by name, that you would not be offended, but that you know you are appreciated, you are valued, your contribution is important. And I want to ask you, as we think about going on a break, that you think about the year ahead, that you think about 2021 as we experience the second wave, which is anticipated to be worse than the first wave. But as you think about it, I want you on the first hand to get the break, connect with family, be safe, look after yourself, look after your well-being. But I also want to call you to action, that as you think about 2021, that you think about how you can be of service to humanity, of service to this university, and how you can especially help those who are less fortunate than yourself as you think forward. The authentic leader who leads with heart. Thank you again, and congratulations to each and every one of you for your service and for being acknowledged tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. September. Congratulations to all the winners tonight.